Bella sat in front of the mirror, adjusting her sleek wig as she admired her own reflection. She was a beautiful woman and she knew it. Her light brown skin glowed. Her perfectly arched brows made her look like a model, and her lips curved into a smile that could melt a man's heart. Today was supposed to be a very special day. Her introduction ceremony with Donald, her fiance of 2 years. Donald was the kind of man most girls prayed for. He was quiet, dependable, and had money, at least enough to take care of her and build a comfortable future. He ran a construction supply business and had recently bought land in Independence Layout, where he planned to build their dream house. He adored Bella so much that he was willing to do anything for her happiness. But for Bella, that wasn't enough. When she compared Donald's comfortable life with the glamorous lives she saw on Instagram, something in her heart felt restless. Donald drove a Toyota Camry and dressed in plain shirts most of the time. He didn't wear flashy watches or take her on trips to Dubai like some of her friends' boyfriends did. And then came Chidra. She met him at a friend's birthday party in Oka. Chidra was everything Donald wasn't. Tall, confident, playful and very flashy. He arrived in a white Mercedes-Benz GLE, wearing a gold chain and designer sneakers. When he saw Bella, he smiled as if the whole party was for her. "Fine girl, you can't just sit there and be making this place dull," he said with an easy grin as he sat next to her. Bella blushed. "And what do you want me to do? Dance with me, or at least talk to me. I can't watch you sit there and waste this beauty." His charm was disarming. Before the night was over, Bella had given him her number, and in the weeks that followed, Chidera flooded her with attention, constant calls, surprise gifts, expensive dinners. He called her Queen Bee, sent her 200,000 naira just to buy something nice, and promised to take her to Zanzibar in December. Suddenly, Donald's quiet devotion started to feel boring. When Donald spoke about saving money for their future house, Bella rolled her eyes. "Must you always talk about savings? Savings, savings. Life is happening now, Donald. Can't we enjoy ourselves for once?" Donald would sigh and say softly, "Bella, I'm building for tomorrow. I want to give you a future where you will never lack anything." But Bella wasn't listening anymore. One evening, just a month before their introduction ceremony, Bella told Donald she couldn't go on. "I'm sorry, Donald," she said coldly, "but I don't think we are meant for each other. I need a man who can match my dreams. I need a man who is already there, not one who is still planning." Donald was stunned. He tried to beg her, tried to remind her of their years together, but Bella's heart was already gone. She left him that night and went straight to Chidera's apartment, where she found comfort in his arms. At first, life with Chidera was like a dream. He took her shopping in Lagos, bought her designer bags, and threw parties in her name. Bella posted pictures on Instagram with captions like "Soft life only" and "God no go shame us." But slowly, the cracks began to show. Chidera's temper was quick. He hated it when Bella questioned his late nights or the strange men who came to visit him. "I handle big business," he would snap. You don't need to know everything." Sometimes money would stop coming for weeks. The expensive gifts stopped too. Bella found herself cooking with her own money, even selling some of her clothes to cover expenses when things got bad. Then came the police raid. Bella was at Chidera's place when EFCC officials stormed the house and arrested him over fraud allegations. She sat on the cold floor, crying as they turned to the apartment upside down. Her perfect life was falling apart. For months, Bella struggled alone. Chidera's friends disappeared. The same people who used to cheer her at parties no longer picked her calls. When Chidera was finally released, he was a changed man, bitter, broke, and violent. He shouted at Bella constantly, blamed her for his misfortunes, and even raised his hand at her one night. That was the night Bella left. She packed her things and returned to her parents' house in Enugu, humiliated. She had no job, no savings, and no fiance. Then, one Sunday morning, as she sat quietly at the back of church, she saw him, Donald. He looked different, more confident. His plain shirts had been replaced by designer native wears, and he now drove a brand new Lexus Jeep. People in the church whispered that Donald had just completed several government contracts and was one of the biggest suppliers in the southeast. Bella's heart sank. She wanted to run to him, to explain, to beg him for forgiveness. But when service ended, Donald walked past her without a glance and holding his hand with another woman, elegant, classy, and smiling at him as though he was the only man in the world. Tears stung Bella's eyes. She had lost everything, but deep inside, she knew this was not the end of her story. Bella left church that morning feeling like the ground had been pulled from under her feet. Seeing Donald happy, truly happy, with another woman broke something in her. For days, she couldn't sleep. Memories of all the times Donald begged her not to leave came flooding back. The night he stood in the rain outside her hostel, waiting to see her after a fight. The time he spent his last money buying her birthday gift because he didn't want her to feel unloved. She had thrown all that away for flashy promises that ended in tears. One evening, she picked up her phone and dialed Donald's number. He didn't pick. She called again. Still nothing. Finally, she typed a message. Donald, I know I am the last person you want to hear from, but I am sorry. Truly sorry. I was foolish. Can we talk just once? He read the message but didn't reply. For weeks, Bella tried to get his attention. He even went to his office, but his secretary told her politely that he was busy. It became clear that Donald had moved on, not just from her, but from the pain she caused him. Bella cried until her eyes were swollen, but after one particular long night of tears, she made a decision. If Donald would never take her back, she would at least make herself into the kind of woman he could respect again. The kind of woman she could respect. She dusted off her CV and started applying for jobs. At first, it was hard. No one wanted to hire a woman with no experience and a soft life reputation. People gossiped about her past, but Bella didn't let that stop her. She volunteered at a local NGO that helped women learn small trades. Through that, she started baking cakes and selling them to friends. Months turned into a year, and Bella grew stronger. She no longer needed a man to define her. She had saved enough to rent a small apartment and had started supplying cakes to events and hotels. She even trained 2 other girls who were struggling like she once was. One day, while delivering cakes to a hotel in Independence Layout, she heard a familiar voice. Bella. She turned, and there was Donald. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Donald looked surprised, then curious. You work here?" he asked gently. "I run a cake business now," she said with a small smile. "I came to drop an order." Donald studied her. She looked different. Her makeup was minimal, her clothes simple but elegant. There was a calmness about her he had never seen before. "Bella, you look good," he said softly. "Thank you. And you look happy. That's all I ever wanted for you." There was a pause. "You hurt me," Donald said finally, "but I guess we both learned from what happened." Bella nodded, tears swelling in her eyes. "I don't expect anything from you, Donald. I just wanted you to know that I am truly sorry. You deserved better than the way I treated you." Donald was quiet for a moment, then smiled. "You've changed, Bella. I can see that. And I'm happy for you too." They parted that day on good terms. Months later, Donald sent her a message, not to rekindle love, but to order cakes for his company's end of the year party. Bella delivered them personally, and when he paid her double, she knew it wasn't pity, it was respect. Bella walked out of his office that day with her head held high. She didn't get Donald back, but she got something better: her dignity, her independence, and a future she built for herself. And for the first time in years, Bella smiled, a genuine, peaceful smile.